Okay, so imagine the scenario. Imagine if when Anakin Skywalker tried to cut off Mace Windu's hand in Revenge of the Sith, imagine if Anakin had failed. So imagine if Mace Windu had seen Anakin try to cut his hand off with his lightsaber, and Mace Windu sidestepped and then plunged his lightsaber into Anakin's heart. So after Mace Windu stabs Anakin in the chest, Anakin Skywalker dies, and immediately afterwards, Mace Windu smashes his lightsaber into Darth Sidious's face. And Darth Sidious is obviously too shocked to react because his prized apprentice Anakin has just died. And I made another video on how I think Darth Sidious was actually stronger than Mace Windu and Yoda, but in this case that doesn't really matter because Anakin Skywalker is dead, Darth Sidious is dead, and so the Jedi have won, right? Well, there's some caveats. So, I think in this scenario, Mace Windu would immediately contact Yoda and fill him in and let him know what happened, and the Jedi Council would come up with a cover story. So they would say, Anakin Skywalker killed the Chancellor, Palpatine, and so Mace Windu had to kill Anakin Skywalker. So that would be the cover story. Anakin was a traitor, and the Chancellor died, so they would just cover it up. And then what would happen is Padme Amidala Skywalker would hear about it, and then Padme would lose the will to live because, Anakin's dead. And then she would have a miscarriage, Luke and Leia would both die, and then Padme would die too. So that takes care of that part. And now, of course, we have Ahsoka Tano coming back with Darth Maul, who's been captured. And I think Darth Maul would be handed over to the Jedi Council, where they would question him, and Darth Maul would, I guess, feel a sense of relief considering how Darth Sidious is now destroyed, although also a sense of maybe disappointment because he wasn't the one who was able to kill Darth Sidious, so there would be that. And Ahsoka Tano would be very suspicious and very doubtful of what really happened to Anakin Skywalker, and of course she'd be upset that he's dead. And so I think Obi-Wan Kenobi would be in the same boat, and he wouldn't be too thrilled about what happened with Anakin either. And I think it's possible that Obi-Wan would just... I'm not really sure what Obi-Wan Kenobi would do. Maybe he'd leave the Jedi Order, and then maybe he and Ahsoka would just try to think of something, or maybe Obi-Wan would stay, or... It's really hard to tell what would happen. And so... I think Ahsoka would be the wild card here because I don't think she would let Anakin's death go unpunished. And of course, the Galactic Senate, I think the Jedi Council would try to install Bail Organa as the Chancellor, and they would obviously purge Masameda and Sly Moore and any Palpatine loyalists. But then it would be very hard to get public opinion on their side because the trust in the Jedi is so low. So Jedi would have to try to take control of the Senate, and then that would cause many political problems, and I think people wouldn't be very happy. And then there's also the issue of what to do with the Separatists, and I think the Jedi Council will probably just manage to track down the Separatist leaders on Mustafar and capture them, and they'd be brought before the Republic. Now, this could go a number of ways. This public opinion could drastically turn against Jedi, and the galaxy could just do a genocide against the Jedi. Or maybe the Jedi decide to step back and step away. And in terms of Order 66, the only other ones who knew about Order 66 were Count Dooku and the Kaminoans, and Count Dooku's dead. And the Kaminoans, they know, but they don't really care too much. They only care about, getting paid and doing business. So, just checking my battery here to make sure I have enough. So yes, it's hard to say. Maybe the Jedi Order decides to withdraw from Coruscant and go to Ahch-To or somewhere else and just be a spiritual, a Taoist type order and just remove itself completely from politics and just let things go because maybe they would realize they'd lost their way after the war ended. I mean, there's many ways it could go, and I think Darth Maul would be sent to prison, but I think he would probably find a way to escape and then cause chaos with his criminal empire because now there's a big power vacuum and he can grab onto it. And if, of course, Darth Maul found out about Order 66, that would be phenomenal. So there's, and of course, the Jedi Council would have to replace the dead members, Agent KIILLED, Kit Fisto, and Stacey Tin. So maybe they would get like Sindralik and Luminara Unduli, and maybe they would bring back Operances or something. So, or maybe bring back Depa Bilaba. Yeah, who knows? But in this scenario, most likely the Jedi would survive and they would take control of the Senate and the Galactic Republic, or maybe they would just not do that and just go away. Maybe Bail Organa would be installed as a Chancellor, maybe Mon Mothma would be installed as Chancellor. And so in this scenario, Luke and Leia are, of course, out of the picture. So really the wild cards are Ahsoka Tano, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Maul, and I'm sure there's other players, other actors out there that I've missed, but yes, it's hard to say what would happen, but I think the likely scenario is that the Jedi Order would not go extinct if Mace Windu had just seen what Anakin was doing and sidestepped and been able to kill Anakin and Darth Sidious.